Oh, I didn't see you there.
I did.
Then why didn't you tell me?
I mean, you're not supposed to know this kind of thing.
These people have been waiting for so long to hear our post-mortem for PAX East 2012.
Sure they are.
Yeah.
And this isn't
after all 27 videos, which you can view right now on this playlist.
Pimping that out, huh?
Yeah, I can't keep count, and I keep counting you to watch them. I think I've pimped it enough right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is our post-mortem video of PAX East 2012. It happened a month ago, first weekend of April. It's just a little bit after May right now. So, in this case, I want to talk to you about what we felt about the event. This is our third major convention.
Yeah, second PAX, though.
Second PAX East. We wish we went to 2011 in hindsight, but we didn't. And we also have... we also went to some other ones beforehand. We're not going to get into those just yet. That's another thing I want to get to in our time. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to you about what we felt about the panels we went to, what we liked, what we didn't like, and what we plan to do about this in the future. Okay, first things first, the panel.
Oh, the travel.
Travel was horrifying. It was probably one of the worst things between paying a little bit more money for valet parking every day. I'd say the driving was the worst.
The driving was terrible.
It added an extra hour to both ways. Thanks a lot, Easter. It was
PAX Easter.
PAX Easter. I hope they do not do that again. But at the same time, I like the fact that because it happened during Easter weekend, there was less people who were able to go. So we could go. So on Easter itself, there was a lot less people on the show floor, but we were also tired as hell by then. So that was kind of pointless.
In comparison to 2010, we recorded a lot more videos, and we didn't go to as many panels, I think.
2010, we only went to I think one panel, two, three panels, maybe.
But it just felt like that overall we did less in the first PAX.
We did. I don't know what we did specifically in the first PAX, but we didn't do a lot in the first PAX.
That's for sure.
In this PAX East, let's do the panels. I was actually invited to go to the Nintendo World Report Connectivity Jeopardy night. It was very early in the morning.
First thing.
It was actually happening alongside the opening. The main panel keynote. That's it. I'm trying to find these words in my head. I can't find it. Anyway, the show was small. It was like about 20-30 people, but I enjoyed it. I was able to. I
won one round.
I won the round that I was in. I was able to. To talk a lot about Resident Evil, and I allowed me the opportunity to at least exude myself to the public. And there's a podcast for NintendoWorldReport.com or NINWR.com, and you can check it out right now, or not, because we got to finish this video first. But then somebody else beat me because he knew more about Penny Arcade than I did, and so he had more.
It happens,
but that's what happens. I can't be first all the time. I can't be first ever.
No, you can't.
No, I can't be.
You can't.
So I went to the next day, Saturday. Or at least I think that night we went to the Precipice of Darkness 3, I think, was that night.
Maybe, yes.
That was a fun time. We actually had trouble getting a hold of interviewing the Zeboid Games.
But then we got to meet them. We meet the people there, and they said, "Okay, here's our free time. Go ahead."
And we did it, so that was great. And we also got to learn some interesting tidbits, like the producer actually worked with Nintendo as a producer for a time. He produced Eternal Darkness was one of the games he mentioned. I think he left after a bit. I know he did Geist too, if I recall.
Yeah.
Anyway, then Saturday we did the Street Pass Network panel. We actually have a full recording of that, not all the QA, mind, but we have the whole the actual panel. I'm editing it still as of this video, and it may either be up now or later. But either way, it's not going to be posted on the actual playlist because it's not really something we covered, as rather we filmed.
Yeah.
So that'll be posted on the actual YouTube channel.
We also had to interview some people there.
We interviewed some people there, including Jules Watcham and the heads
Jordan
and Josh from
Street Pass New York and
DC. I wish we'll get to that in a second. What I wanted to do, but then. We also went to, we got the PA panel, the PA QA, which we went to the streamed version for the first part because we didn't have any ability to get into the main hall, and we were there for about a half hour. And then on the last day, we went for the whole set on the second QA. We didn't do the Make a panel. I hear that's actually a great thing to go to. We didn't go to any of the concerts. I hear that's great too.
Instead we went to see Adventure Time.
Yeah, and Adventure Time on the Cat Theater every night they were playing.
Yeah, the enforcers, since they have to stay there for long and they're losing their sanity, one of the places, Cat Theater, they didn't have anything scheduled for the nights, so they just took a projector and played. Adventure Time.
Yeah, and by the way, when I posted those blog posts for the 3 days before we were there, I did it just outside of the Cat Theater because I didn't want to pay for internet at my hotel.
The hotel is like
Little nickel and dimes.
Nicky
But then it's a
dime.
hotel. What are you going to do? Anyway, so what do you want to talk about now, Tony?
Let's talk about what we didn't do.
What we didn't do. First things first, we didn't interview Mega 64.
We should have done that.
Meg,
Last time, it's one of our highest rated videos.
it was one of our highest viewed videos. It was rated well as well, but it was one of the more interesting interviews. But to me, in 2010, it was the most awkward of the interviews.
It's got to be the most awkward
it's
interview
weird.
we've ever done.
I mean, probably because I was a mixture of being starstruck to being not sure exactly if they were joking or not, and I felt like I was exuding myself a little too much to them. And on top of that, Tony was trying to be serious to them.
Why so serious?
Why so serious, Tony? So, in terms of whether or not I want to interview them, well, I had to have whenever I interview them next, it'll happen to be when I have a mental capacity of a peanut that's insane, an insane peanut. In fact,
Can you picture that? Because I can't.
Speaking of which, actually, if you want us to interview them at the next PAX East, I want you to say "insane peanut" as a comment below, or something or something crazier than that on the top of your head.
Crazy peanut on top of your head.
Crazy peanut on top of my head.
One of the things we did was we didn't record enough footage of some of the games, and
I think we could have gotten more footage of
and Square Enix thread. That
Square
was
Enix
booked. We walked in there and it was packed. It was because we got to thank the Penny Arcade for that.
Penny Arcade said the Mike and Jerry was said, "Hey, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy looked great,"
and suddenly there were so many people there you couldn't even get
Yeah.
close. We could have been playing that game.
We couldn't actually film Heroes of Ruin, which kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
I actually really wanted to interview Dan O'Leary, who is the head of the company, and he was at the Street Pass panel. We couldn't actually get it. Didn't know his email. I actually asked Jordan if he could provide an email because he would know it, and he didn't provide it.
And the problem is that they were like we asked them at the panel like, no, we're too busy. We're out of here.
Well, we didn't ask them at the panel.
We didn't? I thought we did.
No. I asked them if they were going to be at the show floor,
And they
said no.
Oh, well, there you
Because
go.
they were probably actually doing interviews for the media, because Square Enix was one of the few developers or publishers that were even having outside events.
Okay.
And so that was probably why they got to play Kingdom Hearts 3D and we did not, for example.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, that's one of my sore spots. I wish we had more footage of Steel Battalion. We had a training video that I recorded.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything from any actual action shots. We should have done the live demo that was there.
We
should record that.
We missed it.
It was the third day. We were also kind of groggy at that point. The third day does that to people.
We didn't get to play Kinect.
We did get to play any Kinect game. We also didn't get to interview anyone.
Because for some reason there was always lines. And I know why. The lines are there because people like us, they don't know how the Kinect works and they want to find out how it plays. Yeah. So everybody who didn't have a Kinect was lined up to play Kinect games.
Iron Galaxy's Racketeer. I wanted to film that or interview someone, but nothing happened. But it's still different. But we didn't get a chance to do that one. That's another one I regret. That's actually one of the few games from Microsoft that we didn't actually do that I wanted to do. There were some other Xbox Live Arcade games there that I was thinking about doing. Some actually came out recently, like Minecraft just did. We didn't interview, and we didn't. I think Supergiant Games would have been an interesting thing to talk about for Bastion, even though it's already out. But their preview, their prototype, getting footage of that would have been fun.
I also heard that Suda 51 was in.
Suda 51 was for the Lollipop Chainsaw. I think booth. I think it would have been fun to try and interview him, even though he wouldn't have said anything. And everyone, this is not really a thing, but I wanted to say hey to Jonathan Holmes.
Yeah,
because Holmes was there.
We saw him. I think I saw him at least 3 times.
I saw him at least 3 times at the show floor, and one time he was interviewing. Who's the guy for Sonic 4?
Is it Kevin? Ken?
No, Ken Bellows.
Ken.
He was interviewing him after we interviewed. Before or after we interviewed? No, we interviewed him before, and we actually appeared in that video. And then also, if you look at us interviewing Camille from
Hell Yeah,
from Arcado for Hell Yeah, he walks past as well with his crew. It was funny to get to see that.
So he's in our video, and we're in his video. So
yeah.
What comes around goes around.
The internet is a small place, smaller than you think. I'm watching. Anyway, we didn't get everything for the Mega Indie booth. Oh, I said it. There, I said it. Right there. Mega Indie booth. It's the Indie Mega booth.
That's a big thing he kept messing up.
That's when I messed up, and no one corrected me. Not a single person corrected me.
Monaco. We wanted to interview Monaco.
Pocket Watch Games.
And the Super Time Force.
Which is crappy.
But both of them were so busy because
it was the third day at the time.
And also because both Games Trailer and Destructoid gave them their seal of approval, putting a big stamp on it saying, this is the game of the show, and suddenly nobody would leave it alone.
Yeah, props to Cappy The game looks great. Didn't get time to play it though.
Same thing for
Monaco. Monaco looked really good too.
we've been watching it. We've been watching it since it started as
it was Monaco. What mine is yours when it was the winner of the IGF. I was going to ask some questions about that, but either way, didn't get to play any Antechamber. But that was kind of because we were kind of in a rush. I wish we could have played it in hindsight because it looked like a real mind-blowing game. Also, if we didn't mention your name from the Indie Mega booth at all, it's not because we didn't want to interview you. It's just because there was just so much stuff we couldn't keep our minds at wits about us. Also, the Boston Indie Showcase. I don't know if we really were going to interview it, but
they had some good. I looked at their stuff and it looked nice, but I'm not a big mobile gamer because I like tactile feels of buttons, and most of the games are limited because of the hardware they're using. I understand $100 a year is a nice value, and you get a huge audience for when you put it out there. But at the same time, it's limiting the creativity.
Yeah, in a way, limiting what you can do for inputs is what should enhance creativity.
But I feel like sometimes it's shoehorned.
Sometimes it lowers it.
It looks like these games, if they had a traditional control scheme, it would work perfectly. But because they wanted it on this device, they just shoehorned. I think
that them specifying it as mobile was kind of a shoehorn thing. It was like, why didn't you just make the Indie Showcase include both sides? Like maybe if you have in the end we decided to pick 2 games that were console, that were that were PC, and 4 that were mobile. That would have been fine. But for them to say, oh well, indies do mobile, so and nobody covers that, so let's cover mobile. Well, guess what? People cover mobile. There were small indie developers there all around that weren't even part of the mega
even
booth.
In Comic-Con. We even talked to someone at Comic-Con versus kind of indie.
Yeah, they were there. Gravity Lab.
And the fact is that they are out there. It's just that do you really need to showcase the whole thing saying, talk more about it? Because everyone already talks about it.
Everyone ever talks about it. That was the other thing. I wish we had more discussions with some indie groups. Is that even a term? Smaller indie developers. We're talking like small startups from people who just graduated colleges and have been working on their own magnum opuses and so forth. I mean, kind of like YR Games from when we interviewed them in 2010 and also at New York Comic Con 2011. But there were some smaller teams out there. I mean, we got Wither Studios and Muteki Corp, but we didn't interview everybody in that section. We didn't even interview. There's some also development teams that were in the opposite corner that I was interested in talking to. But we just didn't have. So much. Yeah, we did so much, and
we doubled the output.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I wish we had more stuff from Nintendo to cover, but we had nothing. They had nothing for us to push.
Where was Sony?
Sony was not there.
I wondered that because there was no Vita, there was no
Ubisoft
PS3.
Ubisoft wouldn't let us touch anything, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was lines out the door, pretty much trying to
2K,
get.
If a game was about 2K games, it was never going to get filmed anyways.
We were lucky we didn't get yelled at. I heard some crazy stories about one.
Don't get into the story mode. We also got some Rock Band Blitz. I think we could have done a little bit better with the footage we did there.
There was a lot of people there, a lot.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to film. I was playing Pumped Up Kicks, and some of the band behind me was starting to play the Great Best Day Ever,
and they were really yelling.
And they were clearly not caring. They were doing it ironically, is the best way to put it. And so I didn't hear it, but apparently the camera did. So if you watch that video, you'll see I've superimposed music in it. It might not be exactly what was playing because they changed the audio as you go, but it works as well as it could get.
Anyway, it reminds me of Audio Surf.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything that we wish we could do.
What did we do?
What did we do?
What did we like?
What did we like? Well, let's get down to this business. This year, unlike 2010, we used a smaller camera.
Yes. Last year we had this really big camera, shoulder cam.
Don't say we, say you, because you're the only guy.
I was the one carrying the camera.
I filmed one video, and I think it was for BitTrip Runner, and I could not keep it steady.
Yeah, if you want to see any of all those videos from PAX 2010, we have
those too. All 14 videos, including an interview with Tycho and Mega 64 at the end.
Thank you, our own television network, for giving us that opportunity to go to PAX East 2010 last time.
I know. I wish we could have gone to Rowan just to say hey again, but
Anyways, so we have a smaller camera. At the same time, there's an issue with it. I mean, it's lighter.
It's lighter, yeah, and it's HD as opposed to the SD.
The only issue I have with it is that it has a really bad audio jack. I mean, the microphone on it is very good.
Yeah,
but you're on a show fuller, you can't have a simple microphone. You have to have a handheld, and our handheld jack is not very good.
No, the jack.
We actually had
Jerry rigged
like 2 pieces together or something.
And we talked about that in New York Comic Con 2011's Post-Mortem. But the point
Same
of that,
problem.
Same problem. That
We had batteries.
We were prepared. I think the best thing to say, 2010, we were there. We were thrown to the wolves. We actually thought we were never going to film anything. At the end of the first day, we're like, you know what? This camera's too expensive. We're not having fun. Let's just lock it into a safe deposit a box that they provided us with, and then.
Didn't it turn out it was like too big?
No, it fit.
Oh.
We put it in there once or twice. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And then we proceeded to. Not film anything, and then we decided we were because we liked the we liked the Odd Gentleman panel so much. We're like, you know what, we can do this, and we did it. We ended up get 14 things because we actually didn't film anything on the third day. I don't think.
Well, either way, we recorded a lot this year, and our interviews were much better. We actually had we wrote up a lot of our questions beforehand,
about 7 or so,
and
people.
I think it actually caused problems.
I think if I had a cue card, as opposed to a set of papers that had like single word, like 3-word questions that I could extrapolate with, that would have been better. In fact, you'll hear in a few interviews that I may have start with one fact and continue on with the next. You can see that specifically in the Gaijin Games interview, where I accidentally start implementing 2 questions in the same question. But he answers them both, thank goodness, Mr. Noisy. It was great.
And he was the hair.
Mr. Noisy. I'm sure that's the first time he's heard that from my mouth.
And hair.
And hair. I think it's
that was surprising.
That was.
We were like, wait,
that's Alex Noisy.
That's him.
That's nice. He got.
And also, by the way, 1 or 2 was in 2 locations.
It was in 2 locations. If you didn't get to play in the Indie Mega booth, I was going to say it again. If you went to the Axis Games section, I didn't think they were publishing the game.
I guess they are.
But it's right there. You can play the game, and
so there's no lines.
There was no lines, and the audio was louder, so we could actually record it.
But I guess if you wanted to see the celebrities, such as
Alex
Noisy.
but I sucked so bad. We don't have any individual video for that. Oh, and Neon Cat Games. We actually played a bit of that, but it was kind of short. And we're like, I don't know if we want to do that.
I was going to buy some swag, but I decided I really needed the money.
We didn't get any swag. Well, we got swag. Okay. I got a poster over there for Wither Studios. Pull it out. Yeah, there it is. Look, good art style, interesting game premise. Too bad I don't have any iDevices. Oh, I do have an iDevice, but it's like 4 years old. Anyway,
But yeah, we didn't get any swag. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on stuff.
And everything was expensive. Yeah. At least from that perspective. Well, we can always buy something.
Everything's relative. Right?
Everything's relative.
Food
right?
was expensive.
Food was expensive.
Everything was expensive.
Okay, we also put this perspective of how well we did. In 2010, we filmed about an hour and 4 to 8 minutes. I can't remember the exact number.
14 videos.
About 14 videos. This year we have 2 hours and 40 something minutes, and we have 27 videos. So we almost doubled in number the videos, but we more than doubled the actual content length.
So we
did not double the amount of games we covered, though, because we actually interviewed people who had nothing to do with games, and we also interviewed people with multiple games but weren't really showcasing a game. And to top it off, we also did multiple videos per game. Like Guacamelee, I have the whole demo available, and we also have 3 videos for Mario Tennis Open, which is out in like a week and a half or so. So we did a lot. I was very proud of what we did. I'm glad Nintendo let us film anything for 3DS.
Yeah, well, usually Nintendo's like, you can't record anything.
2010 they were a no, but this year they were fine, so that's good. Despite the fact that we didn't have media passes this year again, so no.
And it's getting harder and harder.
That's getting harder to get. Either way, we got a lot of footage of games. I think when we got to get down to it, we were encompassing. We went to the show with the belief that we were going to film X amount of games, and we filmed X amount of games plus some extra games we didn't expect. Yeah. In fact, when I interviewed people, I interviewed them off the cuff sometimes, like snapshots interview. I also interviewed people with the papers. Sometimes the papers didn't work out. Sometimes it worked out for the better. In a way, it helped me keep things steady as opposed to forgetting where I was going. But you could tell from the interviews that I did off the cuff that for the most part I was doing a good job with that as well. So in a way, it helped and hindered at the same time. And we got better with interviews, talked to a lot of people, a lot more than we did last year.
I enjoyed our time.
Yeah, and we got a lot of street passes. Lots of street passes.
Street passes at the ones.
Oh my god.
We would have brought our Vita, but I couldn't think of anything.
Nothing to store it with either. I don't think there's a way was any purpose for Nier for Lumines, which is I think the only major game we have for the system, other than Space Blob's Attack from Guaca.
Which was they were there.
They were there, showing it off the Steam version.
$3,
right? $3, yep. And I think that's it for that. So let's get to the games. I mean, we've been talking for about almost 20 minutes. So let's just finish this off with what games did we really enjoy of the games we covered. I mean, we liked pretty much every game that was shown, but what games stood out from your perspective? You played a few of them. What did you think? As opposed to none.
I mean, I really like Monaco's idea with all different characters, different layouts, and everything. It all depends how many levels there are.
Yeah.
If it's only 8 levels, it might be kind of disappointing. But if it's like 20 levels or something like that much, it'd be like that's killer.
There's 8 characters to choose from.
I know.
And I've only really seen 4 in action, more or less. So it's going to be interesting. I really hope. I mean, there's going to be online. I bet. I think there's going to be online cooperation as well as offline, which we saw there and recorded. I think it's coming to Xbox 360. They didn't specify. They said it's coming to PC and a Mac and a console. At least one console, for this they said. Though, to be honest, a lot of indie games are being snatched up by Sony right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if it appears on the PlayStation Network instead.
Vita.
It's going to come to Vita?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's that widescreen.
And the thing is, the other game that I liked, of course, people are going to hate me for this, was Sonic.
Oh, Sonic, yeah. We played that each. I would say that it's a definite improvement over Episode 1, at least in physics and in art design. But we only played so much. I can't say, once again, otherwise, thanks Sega for the help.
Yep.
But I don't know, we as of right now, the only review that's come out for this game has been from Jim Sterling of Destructoid again. And he gave it a 5. And I'm not sure, I don't know what to think about that. But frankly, we bought one,
and hell yes, no.
And hell yeah.
Okay, it's a little gory.
It's a little gory.
Okay,
it's a lot gory. And I mean, I understand the interest in
the humor of just trying to
dirty humor and whatnot. Not really our thing. We're more into cutesy just for being silly. But hey, the game is silly, so that's gonna be fun when it comes out. Very soon, if I recall. So,
what was your favorite game?
For me, oh man, you gotta bring that up.
No,
I loved the art style. I loved the animations in Dust.
Dust had a great animation.
I did not get to play it, and you gave it a kind of a mixed preview.
I thought the game was very hard. Like, it was like, oh, you're playing the game, and it was like everything was at you at once. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're not really into that sort of action
brawler.
Game. So when it comes down to it, we like more of just the basic slasher games that you see, like Zelda. I would say Zelda would be the best fitting because you're a Zelda fan. That's probably the best for you.
That's the way to put it.
Maybe Gauntlet might fit too.
That's not a good one.
But that's not really the same genre.
No, it's not. I was hoping for like a Castlevania-like style because when I saw the fact it was branching paths, I'm really hoping.
I think it's more like Muramasa than
that's
you mentioned that in specifics. They're making Dragon's Crown, by the way, for Vita.
Which is not coming to America, right?
No, it's coming. Their previous game, Grand Knights, is not coming out or something like that. Right. Anyway, for my games, I really like. It's kind of odd, I didn't necessarily anticipate it to be so interesting to me, but Cairo, I'd say, was a really good look. It was a very interesting experience. When I was playing the game, it kind of sucked me in for a while. I didn't, I kind of wanted to stop playing because I got to interview this guy. But then I was like, I'm still playing this demo because the game.
You messed up on one puzzle.
I stopped at a puzzle, but the game is open ended in a way. You don't need to take the path I took. You can take multiple paths, there's multiple doorways, and multiple puzzles to take, and each puzzle seemed fairly different from each other, even though it kind of was more like exploration. So it was kind of more of an ambient, dark feel compared to an architectural feel over what was appearing in Antechamber, which was also very interesting to me. That one's more what you'd expect out of a puzzle game that goes through the mind twists that you see in games like Portal. So both those games really appealed to me, mainly because of the puzzle elements that were hiding in them.
Another game I thought was interesting to look at, I actually played it for a longer time than the demo. Precipice of Darkness, Episode 3 looked really nice.
The only issue I have with that is that the premise that they have, that first of all, they said the enemies will get more difficult as the fight goes on, to try and make you fight to kill them fast, which I guess I can understand that. I'm not sure I understand the fact that enemies are simply just standing there waiting to be fought. That kind of takes away a little bit from the experience, I think. Why would they be just standing there waiting to continue? But then again, that was the very beginning. I don't really know what's going to happen later on. The writing was very good, though, and
that's what we expect.
And nothing against Haunted Games, but it definitely feels like a more apt game to them. I think, you know what I mean. Haunted Games made the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
And I think that this game fits more within Penny Arcade's gaming feel to it.
Yeah.
Kind of goes more towards the retro games that they like with the Cthulhuian the Lovecraftian experience that the game is going to bring.
What game didn't you like?
Are we going to get into that?
You want to go into that?
No. Why would I tell people what I didn't like?
Okay, fine.
I mean, I would say like a game I didn't play. I mean, I can't say I.
All right, well then it's on.
Yeah, I don't want to name names. It's not like I didn't play. Don't worry, none of the games I interviewed were games I didn't like. Yeah. But I mean, it's different. It's just that some games I just walked by and went, I don't know if I'm feeling that. Yeah, wait, best of luck. I'm just not interested in playing it right now. There was just so many things to do there, man. And I was never going to play. I'm not going to play Borderlands 2 from that long line. I was never going to. I'm not going to. Rule of thumb. If you ever go to a PAX East or a PAX event or any
E3,
or E3 or any,
lucky,
and you're not actually required to do these games, don't go in the lines that take 4 hours to get to. For Pete's sakes, if there's 10 people in front of you, you can stand there for the hour it'll take for you to get in the game.
But if you have like 20 people or like 35 people down the road, you're like, for the time it takes for you to get to that game to play that 15-minute or 10-minute demo, you could play 10, maybe 6 good games out on the show floor that no one would even know existed because the big flashing lights.
I hear that. I would say that we probably could have gotten even some more games that we never heard of. That were kind of like, hey, what's this? It's so weird. It's so weird. And I mean, you could even say, I didn't know any of some of these games coming out. Granted, one thing I would recommend is that you pay attention to what the list is. So glad that this year they let out the exhibitor list like 2 weeks before the actual event,
as opposed to the day.
As opposed to the day it happened. That really threw me for a loop. I was like, I didn't know these guys were going to be here.
And one thing I'm not sure if they did or not, but they need to have some sort of like landmark system.
I think they would have been nice if they'd been like they have like an area being like, this is this side of the building.
And we were there. The enforcer. When I was looking for one of the rooms, and I asked an enforcer, and the person said, I don't know. I was like, well. What's good about you then? You're enforcers. You're supposed to know this stuff. And I think I asked 3 different enforcers till eventually I found one who was like, oh yeah, it's that way. Like, thank you.
Thank you.
Enforcers, or people who want to be enforcers, learn where things are. That's your job. That's why you got here.
Anyway, so PAX East is done. PAX East 2012. It's been done. I'm sure there's only we're the only people who've been still releasing video footage. I'm glad that because by the way, in case you wanted to know how long it took for us to get this videos out last time, in 2010 it took until mid-July to post the video with Tycho. To put it in perspective, that's about, it was in early April that happened. I think it was even in March when that happened.
I think it was April.
It was April. All of May, all of June, and half of that's more than 12 weeks. And here we are sitting about 5 weeks after PAX East 2000 and PAX East 12, and so we gave you more than double the footage quantity, almost double the video quantity, on top in terms of numbers, and on top of that, we did it in less than half the time. I feel we did a great job this time. And by that I mean I feel I edited a really good job, and good for you, cameraman. So what's Therm doing now that this is over with?
I'm getting ready for E3.
Yeah, so expect us to do.
No, we're not. No, we're not going to E3. We're not big press.
No, we're big though. In that case, we're going to be talking. Yeah, I'm gonna go home.
I'm gonna eat a cookie.
I'm gonna eat a big cookie.
A big cookie.
we proceeded to. Now we're going to be doing our previews, our beliefs. Our beliefs,
predictions,
our predictions.
Predictions.
We ask a plate of Purdue chicken. What is going to happen? That is predictions
at E3
for E3 2012, and then we're going to give our impressions. And it's probably going to be just the main 3, but I'm willing to do Konami and Square Enix and EA as long as they have no super boring press conferences. I'm not going to go through that crap again. Alright, anyway, then after that, we're going to prepare ourselves for all these other videos that we have been sitting on for the last year and a half. And then we go to,
we have so many,
and we'll see you guys if you're going to be going to New York Comic Con 2012. We got the tickets already, so we'll be seeing you there. And,
hopefully there'll be something else in between.
Hopefully there'll be something else for us to appear with before then. But until then,
ciao. Cure!